There are moments in life where a single decision changes everything. And for Marcus Green, that moment arrived on a cold Friday night. He always believed monsters existed only in children's stories, shadows lurking under beds, creatures hidden inside closets. But life had shown him something darker. Real monsters lived in the world, and sometimes they shared your blood. Marcus stood in the dim hospital corridor, his fingers trembling as he tried to make sense of what he had just heard. The sharp smell of disinfectant filled the air, mixing with the weight of fear sitting heavy on his chest. A nurse spoke again softly, trying to be gentle with the truth. "She refuses to talk to anyone. She hasn't spoken a single word since she arrived. The injuries on her body indicate long-term domestic abuse." Domestic abuse. Those words hit him harder than any punch he ever took during his boxing days. Marcus swallowed, the memories of his own childhood flashing like wildfire, his mother screaming, his father's fists, the constant fear of not knowing who would be hurt next. He clenched his jaw. "What's her name?" he managed to ask. The nurse looked at the clipboard. "Her name is Lily." A small name for a small girl, 6 years old. Fragile, like she might disappear if someone touched her too harshly. Marcus felt something inside him tighten. He had agreed to foster a child temporarily, just temporarily. His caseworker insisted the system was overwhelmed. "It's only for a few days," she had said, but nothing about this felt temporary. The nurse led him to a small room. The door creaked open slowly, and his breath caught. There she was, sitting, curled in the corner of a bed, knees pulled to her chest, tiny arms wrapped around herself like she was holding her own shattered pieces together. Her eyes, not a single flicker of childhood existed in them. They were wide, dark, silent, like she had swallowed all her screams long ago. Her cheek was bruised, her lip cut. Her little wrists showed marks no child should ever have. He took a step forward, but the girl flinched violently, pressing herself against the wall as if expecting another strike. Marcus froze. He slowly raised both hands, palms open, showing he meant no harm. "Hey," he said gently. "My name is Marcus. I'm here to take you somewhere safe, okay?" She didn't blink, didn't breathe, didn't trust. The nurse whispered, "She hasn't eaten much either. Trauma can shut down more than just the voice." Marcus nodded. He knew exactly what trauma could do. He carried his own scars too, hidden beneath muscles and silence. He handed her a small teddy bear the hospital offered, but Lily only stared at it like she didn't know what toys were meant for. Marcus lowered himself to the ground, sitting cross-legged so he wasn't towering over her. It took several minutes of quiet waiting before she finally moved. One small hand reached out, touched the teddy bear, then quickly pulled back as if she feared punishment for it. Marcus felt heat behind his eyes. He looked away, blinking hard. "Whenever you're ready," he whispered. After a long silence, Lily slowly slid off the bed, her tiny feet hesitant as she approached him. She didn't look at his face. She only looked at the floor. He stood carefully and held out his coat. "It's cold outside." She didn't respond, but she let him gently wrap the coat around her shoulders. A step, then another. She followed him like a ghost. When they stepped outside, autumn wind hit them sharply. Lily shivered, clutching the coat tighter around herself. He opened the car door. She paused, staring into the dark interior with visible fear. "It's okay," he whispered again. "No shouting, no hitting, I promise." Her eyes, they flickered for the first time. Not trust, just surprise. Promises were foreign to her. She climbed in. Marcus carefully buckled the seatbelt around her as she pressed herself against the door to stay far away from him. He didn't force closeness, he gave her space. He shut the door softly, but as he walked around the car, he saw it. Through the hospital window, two police officers talking urgently with a doctor, and next to them, a furious man, restrained in handcuffs. Nathan, Lily's biological father. His eyes scanned the parking lot and locked on to Marcus. A chilling smile crawled onto his face, full of hatred and ownership. Marcus felt his muscles instinctively tense. The officer shoved Nathan inside the hospital again, but that look he gave, it was a threat, a silent message. She's mine. Marcus took a slow breath, calming the storm inside. He got into the driver's seat, checked on Lily, but she was no longer curled against the door. She was staring at him, terrified, waiting for him to explode, expecting pain. He softened his voice even more. "Seatbelt okay? Not too tight?" She blinked. A single nod. It wasn't much, but it was a start. The drive was quiet, only the hum of the engine and Lily's trembling breaths. He glanced at her through the rearview mirror. Her little fingers were pressed so hard into the seatbelt that her knuckles turned white. "Do you like music?" he asked gently. No answer, but when he played a soft lullaby station, her shoulders loosened, just a little. They arrived at his house, a small, clean place with warm lighting and wooden floors. A house built with peace, not chaos. He opened the front door first, letting her see the space wasn't dangerous. "Come in when you're ready." She waited, scanning every corner like she was checking for traps. Only when Marcus stepped aside did she cautiously enter, tiny feet making no sound. He showed her the guest room prepared just for her. A bed with a fluffy blanket, a small table lamp shaped like a bunny, a dresser with clothes his caseworker helped him choose. She stood frozen, staring at the room like it was another world. Marcus spoke softly. "This is your space now. No one will hurt you here." Her bottom lip trembled. She bit it quickly, like she was punishing herself for feeling anything. Marcus kneeled down to her height, keeping his distance. "You don't have to talk. You don't have to be afraid. I'll protect you." A tear, small and fragile, slid down her cheek, but she made no sound, just silent crying, like she didn't believe she was allowed to cry loud. Marcus felt his heart crack wide open. He reached for a box of tissues and placed it on the small table near her, not handing it directly so she didn't feel pressured. "I'll be in the living room," he said gently. "If you need anything at all, I'll be right there." He stepped away, giving her space. He turned off the bright room light, leaving only the soft bunny lamp glowing. Just as he reached the hallway, I heard the slightest noise. A whisper of fabric. Lily had sat on the bed, her teddy bear still clutched in her delicate hands. Marcus collapsed onto the couch, running both hands through his hair. The weight of responsibility hit him all at once. How was he supposed to heal a broken child when he still carried his own broken pieces? But then, a quiet shuffle of feet. He looked up slowly. Lily stood in the hallway, wrapped in the blanket from her bed. She didn't come too close, just far enough so she could still see him. She watched him, like she was testing him, seeing if he would yell, seeing if he would send her away, seeing if safety was real. Marcus spoke gently. "You can sit wherever you feel comfortable." She stood still. Then, finally, she took 2 tiny steps and sat on the very edge of the couch, far from him, but in the same room. That was her first act of trust. Small, silent, brave. Marcus turned on the TV, something calm, colorful, cartoons with soft music. Lily watched with wary eyes. Minutes passed. The blanket slipped from her shoulder. Very carefully, Marcus picked it up and placed it back around her gently. She didn't flinch. Instead, she looked at him, really looked at him, and for the first time, a word escaped her lips. Barely a whisper, almost too fragile to hear. "Thank you." Marcus felt every beat of his heart. It wasn't loud, it wasn't long, but it was everything. He smiled softly. "You're welcome, Lily." Her breathing slowed, her tiny body finally relaxing into the couch. And as she continued watching the cartoon, her eyelids dropped. Her head leaned to the side, then gently rested against the couch cushion. As she fell asleep,
Marcus whispered only to himself, "I'll keep you safe, I swear." But safety was already being hunted. Far away, inside a cold police holding cell, Nathan stared at the wall, fury burning like poison. His fists clenched, knuckles turning purple. "She's mine," he growled. No cage could hold a monster like him for long. Silence. For the first time in many years, Lily slept without fear of being awakened by screams or fists. But trauma has its own alarm clock. Marcus woke to the sound of muffled cries. His heart dropped. He hurried into the living room where Lily slept curled up, tangled in the blanket. Her tiny hands were gripping the teddy bear so tightly that its stitched arm might tear off. "No, please, no," she whispered through trembling lips. Her body jolted, fear electrifying her sleep. Marcus knelt beside her instantly. "Lily," he whispered softly, not touching her, knowing sudden contact could trigger panic. "It's okay. You're safe. You're safe here." Her eyes shot open. She gasped, breathing like she had been drowning. When she saw him, she scrambled backwards on the couch, wide, terrified eyes returning. Marcus froze, keeping his palms open and low. "You're okay," he said again, voice calm like gentle waves. "I won't hurt you. I promise." Tears streamed down her cheeks silently. No sobs, no sound, just sadness trapped behind fear's cage. Then, slowly, she stared at his hands. Open, empty, not a weapon. Her breathing softened. Marcus gently placed a small glass of water on the coffee table and backed away again, giving her space. "Nightmares can't follow you here," he whispered. She hugged the teddy bear tightly, as if it were the only shield she had. The following morning, Marcus prepared breakfast: scrambled eggs, toast, and a little fruit. The soft smell filled the house warmly. He peeked into the living room. Lily sat upright on the couch, back straight, hands locked together on her lap. She was waiting. Not excited, not hungry, just waiting, like she wasn't sure if she was allowed to eat. Marcus smiled gently. "You can come eat whenever you want." She didn't move, so he brought a tray to her instead, setting it slowly on the table near her. Lily stared at the plate, then raised her eyes a little. "For me?" she whispered. Marcus swallowed hard before he could speak. "Yes," he said, "all for you." She stared at the food like she was afraid of it. Then she picked up the toast, taking the smallest nibble possible, almost like she was testing if she'd be punished for eating too much. Marcus looked away so she wouldn't feel watched, but from the corner of his eye, he saw something amazing. Another bite, then another, bigger this time. She was starving, but she ate with quiet discipline, years of survival habits controlling every movement. Later that day, a knock came at the door. Marcus's friend, Kendra. Sharp, confident, a lawyer who always read a room in one glance. She entered quietly when she saw Lily and gave a warm smile. "Hi there. My name is Kendra." Lily stared, then hid halfway behind Marcus's leg, seeking protection without realizing she did. Marcus rested a hand near her, close enough to reassure, not enough to trap. "It's okay," he whispered. After Kendra sat down, her tone changed, low and serious. They released him. Marcus's eyes sharpened. "Nathan, out already? How the hell?" Kendra sighed. Insufficient evidence. They couldn't hold him longer. Marcus felt fury rising like fire under his skin. "That man is a monster," he growled. "She's terrified of him." "I know, but he still has parental rights. For now." Lily's head jerked up. She recognized the word parental. Her pupils shrank with terror. She tugged Marcus's sleeve, her tiny voice cracking. "Don't let him take me!" Marcus turned toward her slowly and placed his hand over hers, gently. "No one is taking you," he promised with quiet steel. Lily's lower lip quivered. She nodded slowly, trusting only because she had no other choice. Later, Kendra pulled Marcus aside. "Child Services will check on her. You must follow all rules. If anything goes wrong, he could get her back." Marcus clenched his fists. He remembered scars on Lily's wrists, her silent cries, her fear of touch. If the system failed her, he would not. "I'll protect her," he said again. Kendra looked into his eyes, seeing the commitment there. "You're becoming attached," she warned softly. Marcus didn't deny it. "Shouldn't I be?" he murmured. Kendra sighed, both supportive and worried. "This path isn't easy, and Nathan won't give up." Marcus nodded once. "Neither will I." That evening, as they prepared for bed, Lily lingered at the doorway of her room, unsure how to ask what she needed. Marcus knelt down to her level again. "What's wrong?" he asked softly. She stared at him, trying to form courage with her shaking lips. "Doors," she whispered. He understood at once. She didn't want a closed door, not after everything darkness had done to her. "I'll keep it open," he promised. Her shoulders relaxed slightly. "And, Her voice slowed to a tiny breath. "Light." Marcus turned on the bunny lamp, then added a soft hallway light, too. Lily nodded, satisfied. She crawled into bed, clutching her teddy. Marcus tucked the blanket around her gently. When he started to walk away, something small but powerful happened. Her hand reached out, grabbing a piece of his sleeve. His entire body paused. Lily didn't look at him, couldn't. She simply whispered, "Stay until I sleep." Marcus felt something break inside him, something he didn't realize needed breaking. He sat beside the bed, close, but not touching. Within minutes, Lily's eyes slowly closed. Her breathing softened. Only then did Marcus stand. Before turning off the main light, he took one last look at her peaceful face. This is what safety looks like. But across the city, safety was being hunted again. Nathan stood outside a bail office, a cigarette in his hand, smoke swirling around his furious eyes. He clenched a torn photo of Lily, edges crumpled, creases across her smiling face from years ago, before the fear. "She's mine," he snarled to himself. A man approached him, rough clothes, cold eyes. "You want the girl back?" he asked. Nathan smirked darkly. Hell yeah, and I'll make damn sure she never runs again. Meanwhile, Marcus was cleaning up after dinner when he noticed Lily's bag from the hospital. He opened it carefully, hoping to find anything important. Inside was a small notebook. He stared at the cover. "My Secret World," written in childish handwriting. He hesitated. Should he respect her privacy? But then he saw something alarming. The notebook wasn't filled with drawings of rainbows or friends. It was filled with pictures, monsters, dark shadows with claws, figures towering over a tiny girl. On one page, Lily had drawn herself in a closet, eyes wide with fear, her mouth covered by a large hand. And underneath, in shaky letters, "I can't scream." Marcus closed his eyes, rage and heartbreak twisting together. This wasn't just abuse. This was terror. He placed the notebook carefully back in her bag, just as Lily appeared behind him, rubbing her eyes sleepily. He froze. Had she seen him reading it? But Lily didn't look angry. Instead, she walked closer and gently pulled the notebook toward her chest, holding it protectively. Marcus knelt down, meeting her gaze. "You don't have to hide anymore," he whispered. "You can tell me anything. I will always listen, always protect you." Her tiny voice trembled. "Promise?" He swallowed the lump in his throat. "I promise." But promises are about to be tested.
Outside the house, a dark car slowed down. Headlights dimmed. A pair of eyes watched from the shadows, and a cruel smile formed. The monster had found their home. The next morning felt almost normal. Sunlight filtered through the curtains. Birds were chirping outside. Marcus walked into the kitchen to find Lily sitting at the table already, legs dangling, hands neatly folded, like she was waiting for permission to exist. "Good morning," he greeted warmly. She looked up slowly. "Morning," she whispered back, barely audible. That one tiny word made Marcus smile more than any business deal ever had. He made pancakes, even shaped one like a heart. When he placed the plate in front of her, she blinked in surprise. Then slowly, a small smile lifted the corner of her lips. Not forced, not scared. A real smile. It vanished quickly, like she wasn't sure she was allowed to feel happy. But Marcus saw it, and it meant everything. After breakfast, Marcus took Lily to the backyard. Sunlight warm and grass soft under their feet. She brushed her fingers through the grass gently, almost confused by the feeling of something soft that didn't hurt. "Do you want to play?" Marcus asked. She hesitated. Play wasn't something she had been allowed to do, not without punishment. He tossed a small rubber ball gently in front of her. She jumped slightly, startled, then slowly reached down, picked it up, and bounced it once. The soft boop sound made her flinch at first. Then she tried again. Boop! This time, she giggled. A tiny, beautiful sound. Marcus froze. It was the first time she made a sound of joy. He laughed with her, not too loud, as if noise could break the fragile moment. Meanwhile, a car sat parked just down the street. A cigarette burned between two fingers. Nathan, watching, waiting, planning. His jaw clenched so hard a vein bulged down his neck. "That fancy bastard thinks he can steal my kid," he growled. He slammed his fist into the steering wheel, horn blaring. Lily dropped the ball, startled by the sound. Marcus turned toward the street, eyes narrowing. The car sped away, but Marcus knew danger had arrived. That night,
Thunder cracked the sky, storm clouds pouring rain against the windows. Lily paced, tiny feet silent but movements frantic. Storms terrified her. Thunder reminded her of slammed doors. Flashes of lightning reminded her of fists. Marcus noticed her breath shortening, panic dissolving the calm she had gained. He knelt beside her. "Storms can't hurt us," he said gently. She shook her head quickly. "No, he used to get angry when it rained, and when the thunder was loud, he said it was my fault." Marcus felt heat explode in his chest, righteous fury. "No," he said, voice firm but kind. "What he told you was a lie. You did nothing wrong." She stared at him, waiting to see if he really meant it. "When storms come," he continued, "most people stay inside to be safe. That's what we're doing. We're safe together." Another loud crack of thunder. Lily flinched hard, tears forming. Marcus made a choice. "Come with me." He guided her to the living room, then sat on the floor next to the couch. He turned on a soft nightlight, shaped like a star. He stayed close, not touching, just there. Lily slowly sat beside him. Her shaking stopped. Her breathing calmed. Together, they waited out the storm. But storms don't just strike outside. Sometimes they knock. Bang, bang, bang! The sudden pounding on the door made Lily jump back, eyes wide with fear. Marcus stood sharply, every muscle tense. He approached the door, checked the security cam. His blood turned to ice. Nathan, smiling, soaked in rain, monstrous. "Open up!" he yelled. "I'm here for my daughter." Lily whimpered, curling into a ball. Marcus spoke through the door. "She's not going anywhere with you." "She's mine," he screamed. "Her mother begged me to keep her. You think you can just take her?" Marcus's rage nearly detonated, but he stayed firm. "You don't own her," he shot back. "You abused her." Nathan growled, kicking the door. "If you don't open this damn door, I will break it." Police sirens suddenly echoed from a distance. Nathan panicked and stormed off into the night. Marcus locked everything, then rushed to Lily. She was trembling uncontrollably. "It's okay," he whispered, voice soft as silk. "He's gone." "No," she whispered, tears dripping. "He always comes back." Marcus lifted her gently. This time she didn't pull away. He placed her on the couch and wrapped a blanket around her shoulders. "You're not alone anymore," he vowed. "No one will ever touch you again." Her tiny fingers reached forward, grabbing his hand tightly. She didn't speak, but the fear in her grip said everything. The next day, social worker Mrs. Hargrove arrived, clipboard in hand, expression stiff and skeptical. She inspected Marcus's house, questioning everything. "Do you have any experience with children?" "No," Marcus answered honestly. "And you believe you can care for a severely traumatized child?" Marcus looked at Lily, who watched anxiously from the hallway. "Yes," he replied without hesitation. Miss Hargrove frowned. "This case is complicated," she said cautiously. "We received a claim that you are manipulating Lily to stay with you." Marcus's jaw clenched. "Nathan is manipulating you. He terrified that child. Look at her. She's scared of even small noises." Miss Hargrove glanced at Lily, who quickly hid behind a wall. Her face softened a little. "I'm not here to hurt her," she said gently, "but I must follow procedure." Marcus nodded, desperate but composed. "Just give me a chance," he pleaded. "She finally slept without fear. She smiled today. She laughed." Miss Hargrove noticed the stuffed teddy on the couch, saw Lily's shoes neatly placed, too small for chaos. "We will evaluate," she finally said, "but the law still recognizes her father." Marcus didn't sugarcoat his response. The law is wrong. That night, Marcus prepared warm milk for Lily to help her sleep. But when he returned to the living room, she wasn't there. "Lily," he called, trying to stay calm. He searched the house, panic growing. Finally, he found her in his bedroom closet, dark, silent, curled tight, hugging her knees. "Lily," he whispered. She looked up, tears streaking her cheeks. "He'll come back. He'd take me. He always takes me." Marcus sat beside the closet, close enough for her to step out if she wanted. "I won't let him," he whispered. "I promised, remember?" She stared at him, pleading to believe those words. Then slowly, she crawled out of the dark and into the light. She sat beside him, leaning against his arm, just barely. It was the first time she chose contact. Marcus didn't move, didn't breathe. He let her feel safe at her own pace. Meanwhile, Nathan drank from a bottle outside a dingy motel, eyes red with fury. His accomplice returned, holding a stack of papers. "You want her back?" he asked smugly. "I got something that'll make it real easy." Nathan grinned, pure evil. "They're all gonna pay. That billionaire first, then the girl." Inside the home, Lily had finally fallen asleep on Marcus's shoulder. He whispered, "You're safe with me, Angel." But outside, the real battle was just beginning.
Marcus didn't sleep that night. He stayed awake, listening. Every tiny sound, every creak in the walls, every gust of wind against the windows. His eyes remained on Lily, curled up peacefully on the couch, clutching the blanket like a lifeline. For the first time, sleep wasn't a prison for her, but a refuge. He couldn't risk taking that away by closing his eyes. Because Nathan was out there, hungry, obsessed, dangerous. As the first hint of dawn softened the horizon, Marcus's phone buzzed. Unknown number. His heart hammered. He answered silently. A voice, slurred, chilling, slithered through the speaker. "You think you're a hero, Nathan?" Marcus clenched his jaw. "I'm protecting her." "From what?" Nathan hissed. "From her own father?" "You aren't a father," Marcus growled. "You're the monster she hides from." Silence. Then a laugh, low, bubbling with madness. "If she doesn't come home, you'll see what real fear looks like." Click. The call ended, but the threat lingered like poison in Marcus's chest. He locked every door, every window, checked the backyard cameras twice. He expected panic. Instead, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. Purpose. Morning. A fragile calm. Lily awoke slowly, blinking at the soft morning light. Her posture was different today, less curled, less guarded. She saw Marcus in the kitchen and approached hesitantly, like a stray animal checking if the hand that fed yesterday might hit today. But Marcus smiled warmly. "Pancakes again?" he offered. She nodded, shy but hopeful. When he placed a small plate in front of her, she whispered, "Thank you." Not fearful, not robotic. Grateful. He nearly teared up. But before the moment could bloom fully, ding-dong, the doorbell. Lily froze, instantly shaking. Marcus stood quickly. "It's okay. Stay with me." He checked the camera. "Mrs. Hargrove," The social worker. Marcus let out a slow breath and opened the door. She stepped inside, clipboard in hand, eyes scanning everything. "I'm here for a scheduled welfare check," she announced. Marcus frowned. "Scheduled? You didn't—" "It was arranged this morning," she interrupted curtly, "by Lily's father." Marcus felt his blood run cold. Lily peered around his leg, fear etched in her eyes. Miss Hargrove softened a little. "Lily, sweetheart, can you come here a moment?" Lily shook her head violently, backing away. Miss Hargrove sighed. "The law still recognizes her biological guardian if he files for immediate retrieval." Marcus took a step forward, voice low, shaking with restrained fury. "That man will kill her eventually. You know it." Miss Hargrove looked conflicted, torn between rules and reality. "I need proof," she whispered. "I need something undeniable." Marcus leaned closer. "Give me time. Just 48 hours. A long pause. Finally, she nodded. 48 hours, no mistakes. Marcus exhaled, the slightest victory, but time had just become his new enemy. The court papers. That afternoon, a courier arrived with documents, thick, official, terrifying. Nathan had filed for full legal custody. Marcus's hand shook as he opened them. Hargrove wasn't exaggerating. The law was already moving against him. Lily watched from the doorway, confusion trembling across her face. "Is it bad?" she whispered. Marcus swallowed the lump in his throat and forced a smile. "I'm not letting you go anywhere." Her eyes glistened, not fully trusting yet, but wanting to. He had become her hope. He could not fail. The night turned violent. That night, the storm returned. Wind howling, rain slashing the windows, lightning ripping the sky open. Lily clutched Marcus's arm as the thunder roared overhead. He moved her to the couch, turned on the star nightlight again, and sat with her, keeping vigil just like before. "I'll stay right here," he whispered. But then, snap. A sound outside, not thunder. Metal. Breaking. Marcus shot up and checked the security feed. The gate camera showed movement. A figure with a hood, cutting wires. Nathan. He wasn't alone. Two more silhouettes moved behind him. Marcus's pulse exploded in his ears. He grabbed his phone. 911, what's your emergency? They're breaking in. He's here to take Lily. Officers are en route. Stay inside and stay silent. Stay silent? Not an option when a child is terrified beside you. Marcus hung up and rushed back to Lily. Her breathing was quick, eyes wide like prey sensing the predator closing in. He kneeled, voice steady, confident, strong. "Lily, listen to me. No matter what you hear, no matter what happens, you run to my room and lock the door. And you don't open it for anyone except me." Tears already formed in her eyes. "Where will you be?" "Right here." His hand rested gently over her small, trembling hands. "Protecting you." She nodded slowly, swallowing her terror. Break-in. Crash! A window shattered. Glass flew across the floor. Marcus stood, body turning into a shield. He grabbed the fireplace poker, the closest thing to a weapon he had. Footsteps. Heavy. purposeful. Nathan's voice oozed into the darkness. "You come on out, princess." Lily stiffened. Marcus whispered, "Go." She ran, small feet slapping the stairs. Nathan heard it. "That's right, run to Daddy," he snarled. Marcus stepped into view. "She's not your daughter anymore." Nathan grinned, wicked and unhinged. "She will always be mine." He signaled his accomplices. One charged. Marcus swung the poker, metal cracking bone. He dropped, screaming. The second lunged from behind, tackling Marcus to the floor. Marcus struggled, slammed an elbow into the attacker's ribs, rolled, grabbed the poker again, and struck hard. The other man collapsed, groaning. But the moment Marcus looked up, Nathan was gone. And upstairs, Lily screamed. Marcus's heart ruptured. He sprinted up the stairs, 2 steps at a time, lungs burning with pure adrenaline. He was the final stand. Nathan had Lily cornered in Marcus's bedroom, hands grabbing at her as she clawed backward. "No!" she sobbed. "Let me go! Let me go!" Nathan's voice warped with rage. "You're coming home. I own you." "No!" she choked. "I don't belong to you." Marcus collided with Nathan, slamming him away from her. Nathan smashed into the wall, dazed but quickly recovered, pulling a knife. "You think you can take what's mine?" He lunged. Marcus grabbed his wrist, metal grazing his side, pain searing but ignorable. He twisted, forcing Nathan's hand back, their faces inches apart, breath hot with hatred. Marcus growled through his clenched teeth, "She is not your property." A guttural roar erupted from Marcus's chest as he slammed Nathan to the floor, disarming him. He pinned him down, ready to end it. Nathan laughed, blood on his teeth. "You can't keep her. The system will return her to me. I'll be back."
Again and again, until she's mine. The door suddenly burst open. Police flooded the room with guns drawn. They tackled Nathan instantly, forcing him to the floor, cuffing him as he snarled like a feral animal. Marcus staggered forward, breathing like he had run miles, eyes locked on Lily. She stared back at him, trembling, not out of fear this time, but from the shock that he came for her, that he always came for her. He knelt and gently took her hand. "You're safe," he whispered thickly. "I swear to you, you'll always be safe." Lily pressed her forehead against his chest, sobbing, clinging to him like he was the only solid thing left in her collapsing world. Marcus wrapped his arms around her, unbreakable, shielding her from everything beyond that moment. As officers dragged Nathan away, screaming, "You can't keep her away from me! She's mine!" Marcus whispered softly into Lily's hair, "Not anymore." Even after the patrol cars disappeared into the night, Lily wouldn't let go. She didn't trust the world outside his arms. She didn't trust that Nathan was truly gone. Marcus held her carefully, not too tight, but firm enough to tell her she wasn't alone. Not anymore. Paramedics arrived, checking for injuries. Marcus sat shirtless as a medic cleaned the gash on his side. The medic muttered that he was lucky, that a little deeper things could have been much worse, but Marcus barely heard him. His attention remained on Lily, wrapped in a blanket, as a gentle officer spoke softly to her. She looked so small and fragile against the chaos of flashing lights and shattered glass. Mrs. Hargrove arrived in a frenzy, breathless as she took in the destruction. Her eyes shifted from Marcus's battered body to Lily's trembling form, and realization hit her like a blow. "You saved her," she breathed. Marcus didn't respond. The blood, the window, The fear on Lily's face said everything. Mrs. Hargrove steadied herself. "I'll recommend emergency protective custody under your care," she declared. "No judge will ignore this." Marcus finally exhaled, relief tangled with exhaustion, until Lily's delicate voice pulled him back. "Marcus?" Her eyes held no fear anymore, only trust. "Don't let them take me away." His chest tightened as he vowed, "I won't. I'm not going anywhere, and neither are you." The next day, Evelyn Clark, confident, sharp, sat across from Marcus with legal documents spread like a battlefield. "Nathan is claiming emotional manipulation," she reported, disgusted. "He wants to paint you as a stranger who took advantage of a vulnerable child." Marcus slammed the table, anger flaring. "He broke into my house. He tried to take her." "That helps us," Evelyn said, "but the law needs clear proof of abuse." Marcus's voice cracked as he whispered, "She has scars." Evelyn softened. "We'll document everything, but understand this is a war. The system still gives him a voice." Marcus's stare hardened. "Then I'll shout louder." At the hospital, every flinch from Lily shattered Marcus more. The doctor recorded old bruises, healed fractures Mark's no child should ever have. Mrs. Hargrove stood frozen, horrified she hadn't seen the signs sooner. But when the doctor touched Lily's shoulder lightly and she whimpered, "Please don't tell Daddy, I'll be good," Marcus had to leave the room, gripping the hallway wall as a tear escaped, not from sadness, but burning fury. He would burn the world before letting Nathan near her again. In the courtroom 2 days later, reporters swarmed. Nathan entered in cuffs, but still grinned like he owned the world. His lawyer claimed he panicked, acting out of fear as a father. Marcus nearly broke the table with how hard he clenched it, but his attorney rose, calm and deadly with truth. She laid out the medical reports, the terror Lily lived through. Nathan snapped, screaming that Lily belonged to him, pointing venomously at Marcus, accusing him of stealing her love. Marcus answered with only one quiet, devastating truth. "No, I earned it." Silence swallowed the courtroom. The judge looked at Lily, shaking and grasping Marcus's sleeve, then at Marcus, steady and protective. The ruling came swift and strong. Marcus received temporary guardianship. Nathan was ordered to undergo psychological evaluation and have no contact whatsoever. Lily cried tears of relief as Nathan lunged, screaming, held back by officers. Marcus held her close. For the first time, she wasn't afraid to hold on. Back home, new locks secured the doors, cameras guarded every corner. Lily sat on the porch, enjoying a popsicle, sunlight replacing shadows. She leaned her head gently against Marcus's arm. "Do I get to stay forever?" she asked, voice small, hopeful. Marcus smiled, tender and certain. "Forever. No more running, no more hiding, no more monsters." Lily breathed, steady, peaceful. Then she reached for his hand on her own and whispered the words that changed everything. "I love you, Daddy." Marcus froze, emotion overwhelming him. He cupped her cheek gently, his eyes shining. "I love you too, Lily. No broken girl and billionaire guardian, just a father and his daughter. A family finally found."